Righty, welcome back to NZ Motor Outlaw Kustoms. So this will be the 10th video on the 65 Chevy Impala. So yesterday when I finished up the end of the video, we were remaking this back trunk opening corner, wherever the old one is. So remaking this piece here, minus this piece. I'm actually going to cut this off and weld it back on the new bit. But as you can see, it's very just, it's been patched up and boogered up and whatever. So cut it out, and it's actually two pieces of metal. This is like one piece, and then it's another piece with the where it goes into the what it actually would have been originally probably part of this rear tail pan skin, maybe into the it might be part of that quarter panel as well. There probably would have been a join there. Yeah, there is a join there, but it's not going to be now. So yeah, it actually took me all freaking day to get these two pieces made and really close to the right shape and to fit together. I couldn't believe how much work and shaping and tweaking and tweaking and tweaking and tweaking and tweaking it took to get them to fit in here now. And we're still not 100% perfect. Oh, we're close. I definitely want to have this in here by very soon. I'll just undo it. Show you where I've got to. So yeah, this is one piece and this is another piece. You can see where it joins there. I've just got a couple of tack welds on this edge just to hold it together. I will plug weld it through here as well. But yeah, just to get that shape to come out and to work out how to form this and then form this edge. This edge used to be wider when I made it. You'll see on video 9, which I posted up last night. So this was a bigger edge. It was probably about as big as that, if not a wee bit bigger. And then I trimmed it back, just because that was easier to shape and get to fold over than it was to try and bend over like a little tiny piece like that. It's just difficult. So you can bend over a bigger piece and then trim it off, and then you can, play with it from there. But yeah, to get this to try and make it match that, which it doesn't quite, but it's very close. I think it's close enough to get it to fit. It's just more than I'd ever tackled before. I've never really made bigger sections like that. Now that I've got stretchers and stuff like that, well, yeah, I'm sort of starting to tackle some of these more, I guess, difficult pieces to make. Probably if I ever make this sort of stuff again, like another, by the time I've done it on 3 or 4 cars or whatever, I'll better make them faster. But just trying to get my head around it and work out how these pieces work and to get them to move to where I wanted. I actually had to clamp them in here. I had to clamp this piece here and here first, and then actually I had to, in the end I had to heat it with the gas, with the oxy-acetylene torch, and get it to push down. I couldn't get it to go into the shape. I had it really close before I bent this lip over. Like you had it fitting almost perfect. But as soon as I bent that lip over, the whole thing just twisted and distorted, and I had to start again, basically reshaping to get it to come back. Yeah, it was very, very awkward. And I had to make a couple of little forming tools. I'll just quickly show you that too. So I will keep this in right on it somehow, 65 Chev. I might be able to use it for other things, but what I did is this right angle slot here was actually for this piece to go in. over, yeah. So this piece here fitted through here, and then I could fold that lip over, so it stuck out here, and then I bent it down. That was the only way I could get it so I could get a really nice square bend. So I shaped it to this shape first, and then started folding it over, because it was, I don't think I could have got it to shape if I bent the two bends in the folder in a straight piece. I think I would have struggled to get it to do what I wanted it to do. Whereas like you could stretch on that one bend and then try and fold that edge over and then obviously re-manipulate. And I re-shrunk and stretched it a little bit, but I just couldn't get it quite to go to that last piece, so I had to use heat. And then before I obviously welded it together, I re-profiled it back through here again to try and get everything to square up. I just had to keep twisting and fitting, and yeah, 7 or 8 hours later, I got to this piece. So yeah, and then this slot here was to put this bit in, like that, and then hammer that edge over again, because it was easier to bend, to twist it into the right direction with one fold in it, and then because basically you can't grab it with the shrinker stretcher to get it to twist in both directions without having it flat. So once I got it sort of close to that shape again, and then I hammered it over, and again it fought me and twisted itself up more than I wanted it to. But once I got it back to where I wanted it to, I could keep hammer forming it on this to get it to square up and be nice and square and tidy without being weird. So yeah, that's how I formed them. But anyway, so before I get into this, obviously I've just become monetized, which I've said in the last couple of videos. But in the last video, when I was editing, right near the end, I'd actually seen a couple of days ago somebody, I'd never actually thought about doing it, but I've come across people's videos, and I was just watching all this car stuff, and they just, every now and again, they had their logo flick up with just a little bit of music in the background, just for 3 or 4 seconds before an ad. And I was like, that's not a bad idea. And so I did that. I went back through just before I went into my high-speed footage or time-lapse footage, whatever you want to call it, of doing all the workings and cutting and welding and whatever that I normally do. I put that little snipper in there for about 2 seconds or 3 seconds basically before I put the ad breaks in, because the first couple that I did, and then I actually went back and done some of the older videos, more recent older videos, I basically did it automatically and then just deleted the excess of like 20 freaking ad clips through like an hour and a half video. Like I just thought that was way too excessive, you know, like every freaking 4 minutes or 3 minutes is just absolutely freaking annoying. That would drive me insane. As much as it would be nice to leave them in there and get all that revenue from it, it would just turn people off if you every freaking 3 minutes you get another ad for an hour and a half long video. It would just drive you insane. So I tried to spread them out to sort of about 10, sort of 15 minutes-ish, maybe a little bit long. Some are a little bit wider spread, some of them are out to 20 minutes, just depending on how it sort of fell. But so I thought last night, after I sort of seen that clip, it just sort of popped in my head where I was doing the end of the video. I'd actually finished editing and I was like, oh, I might do that. But yeah, just let me know what you think of that. Because that was sort of a new thing for me, but I think it gave me a really easy point to pick after I'd loaded the video on YouTube to go through and set the ads at. Right. One thing before I do start here is also I've linked the Teespring underneath the video, you know, where the description and stuff is. So if you feel like you want to buy some merch, I'll try to put a decent selection. I've got two logos. I've got the newer version and I've got the older version in the Teespring. But anyway, we'll get this in. We'll get this in here. Put that on first. Just make sure we get this right. Since we end up bending it down. Alrighty, well there's 2 hours of working footage. I'm just trying to get this freaking thing fitted. The main reason why I've done this is there was that frickin' funny piece in there, and it's actually where somebody else has welded this frickin' piece in at some point along here. I don't know whether they've put a new piece in here or what they've done, or whether it's had some new metal along. It looks like it. It looks like it might have been this piece. Yeah, there's been some new sections put in here, and unfortunately they didn't fix this. But yeah, it's actually split along here too, so I'll have to re-weld along some of this piece where they've tried to grind it back. Hopefully with a little bit of body filler and whatever, it'll be alright. But so yeah, I cut it back into this out of the old piece just to try and get a slightly better patch, and we'll weld it around here, and it got rid of some of the shitty metal. And this here, it's level on the bottom, and it was just a freaking touch too high, so I just sliced it through there. So at least now it's level. It was sticking up and I couldn't get it to sit down. It's actually level on the bottom, or it's actually slightly low just in that one spot. It won't be too bad, but yeah, I had to trim it down. I must have just, the dimensions must have grown a little bit with whatever was going on, if you know what I mean. And then I had to heat it in here to get this to lower down to be kind of like this. I just didn't have quite enough shape in it. I didn't have quite enough shape in that piece there because it's low. It's got like a kink in it, as you can see. It's got like this. So yeah, it was sitting up above that, and it wasn't gonna. I was gonna end up deforming this to make that meet. So I just reheated it up with the gas, and I tried to heat the bottom without getting this cherry hot. Pushed it down, and then yeah, proceeded to just hammer this down a little bit into it to try and blend it out. So yeah, hopefully that boot fucking lid fits. I'm hoping. I think it should do. We're pretty fucking close. Worst comes to worst, we'll have to fucking do it again. Yeah, we're pretty fucking close. I'm sure we're pretty fucking close. We're not a million miles away. I think we're pretty close. Hopefully, hopefully if we put the trunk on there and or boot lid on there with its rubbers and shit, it's good. Yeah. Worst comes to worst, if I can find a little bit more tube, you could always put another drain in this corner just in case it didn't happen to pull there. But yeah. They're tiny little frickin' drains, aren't they? Almost need like a frickin' bit of something a wee bit bigger. All the stuff I've got is too big, but yeah. So I have got some tube here, but it's way too big. Like something, probably the next step down from that would probably be alright. Something in between. Yeah, something in between that would probably be better. We drain to pop through there. That's must be factory, but yeah, I would call that too small. It would work, but is it blocked? That one's open. I know this one's open. Oh, I thought it was. I'll have to check that. Make sure that they should be open. Oh yeah, that one's definitely open. Oh yeah, no it is. Yeah, I can see daylight through there. Anyway, we'll carry on welding in, and then hopefully about lunchtime I'm going to go have this other freaking car. I'm just waiting for the guy to message me back. I've been trying to go see this fucking thing for weeks. Just fortunately, like the guy that's been doing this has been able to go a little bit further. Just with time wise and money, just some of these things take for longer. And with me losing that week, I tried to stretch my freaking budget as much as I possibly could to work in, and sort of chased another week. With what I sort of said, so I freaking stretched myself really thin to try and make that up with busting my back out. So yeah, but yeah, we're starting to run short on funds, so we really need to get something else in here at least. And we've between the two, we might be able to sort of offset and try and get these doors finished for him, and work on this other thing as well. Want to work out what he wants to do, and what his budget is as well. But yeah, we'll carry on, and hopefully, if I can wingle it into it, if depending on what happens, there's a 51 Plymouth Cranbrook I wouldn't mind buying. It's close-ish. It's probably close for most people. It's about an hour or more away from here, so it's be about a 3-hour round trip, maybe 4-hour round trip to go get it, and it's a couple of grand. It's a 4-door. It's something I wouldn't mind if I could get it in here somewhere, especially if the studio goes. Just something to build for the shop, for advertising, and it would be the first chop. I want to chop it. I don't even care if it doesn't even end up back registered on the road. I just want to build something cool, and it's the perfect for a cheapy lead sled, because it's not actually that dear. I don't know how bad the car is. It's complete. It's got the motor and box. I don't know if it runs, but we'll try and get it running. But yeah, it'd be pretty cool just to build a ratty lead sled. It's kind of what I'm thinking. But yeah, anyway, we'll finish this, we're adding this on, and we'll go from there. Alright, we've got that in. With some minor clean up. We've probably got the odd pinhole still to capture. We've still got to try and hopefully I can just weld this up. It feels fairly solid in behind. It's just, I don't know whether it's somewhere he's welded something in there and there's some holes, some pinholes. So we'll try and weld that up. Might do that shortly, very shortly. It's just about lunchtime, and I want to try and go and have a look at this other fucking car if I can, and then come back. As long as I'm not too long in town, I want to come back and attack that corner. I want to try and get this shit done. I desperately want to get into those doors. Like I've still got the firewall and that. But yeah, I need something else to do, otherwise I'm going to end up in the poo, just financially. So yeah, we're getting there. I just about frickin' ground myself thin there. When I was showing the light on it, you can see there's a bit of a frickin' bit of light there. When I tried to weld it, it just blew away. So it must have been like a little high spot or something there, and then I ground it thin. So yeah, but this almost needs hitting down a little bit, and then we'll just take the top off that weld, and then like a scooch of body fluid in there and whatever. You know, we've all got a little bit of grinding and whatever to do. But yeah, we're kind of there. We're kind of there. That one anyway. So that's cool. I've got to do some grinding in here. But that looks pretty much, that looks pretty close to factory. Assuming that one, wherever the other old pieces was factory. But yeah, we're on there. The only thing else I've got to do is, when I'm lying on my back, I'll have to put a couple of, these are like an inner piece. I'll just have to put a couple of welds on there and grind them off flat. And that extra on this piece, we'll put a few welds on there and just make sure we got that ground up, and we'll just line the boot and do that at some point, or trunk, and tidy that up. Where I cut through it when I was basically taking it off. So yeah, I think we might go have a lunch. I'll quickly tack those up before I leave, but I won't worry about showing you. Yeah, we'll see if we can work out, we can go have a look at this frickin' car or not, so I can get something else in here. Righty, we'll spot you a wee bit later on. Right, let's hopefully go have a look at a, I think it's a 57 Rambler, I think is the next vehicle we're looking at, which is going to be possibly made into a gasser, I think is the plan. I just need to talk to the guy and just find out what his exact plans are, and what he wants to spend and what he wants me to do. That's kind of the plan. Anyway, we'll see you when we get there. Right, so welcome back again. Sunday. I'm trying to get a bit more work done on this. I'm just trying to catch up days. This is hopefully not something I'll be doing all the freaking time. I don't really want to be working all week and weekend. Hopefully at some point I'll get to the point where I don't have to. Typical though, you start doing stuff for yourself and you think, oh yeah, no, it'd be freaking, it'd be good, but you always end up working 24/7. Hopefully at some point I'll get to the point where I've got enough revenue and cash flow that I don't have to do it, and I'll get faster at making some of these pieces. Anyway, I'm going to crank the heater up because it's cold. Yeah, we'll try and get these two back corners finished up and go from there. Righty, hopefully that diesel heater's not too bloody noisy, but I'll just turn that off. Alright, so I got that cleaned up. I didn't film it, it just put a wee patch in that corner, and the rest of it I managed to weld up. It's been repaired before, and there's a few pinholes and whatever in it. You can actually see where the joint along here. So I managed just to fix this. And it was actually quite solid in behind. Just had to put a little piece in it, and just re-welded up with a wee bit of brazing in it too, so it sort of fought me a little bit. So I might have a look, just a little hole there still. Try and fill, but we'll cut this piece out now, get that done, and then we'll move to the firewall. Hopefully that won't take me too long. I was contemplating picking it off here, but what I might do is cut it out around here if I can, and try and get back into the solid piece just past here. I know it sort of goes into, there's another piece of floor there that it joins in. It's part of the this piece, so it must be sort of a bit boxed in there. Now I'll cut it back here, try and bust it off that because it looks like it's pretty thin anyway, and clean it under up. And if I can, I'll just weld it along this edge if I can get away with it. Otherwise we'll cut a bit of this way and we'll pick the seam out and just drill some holes in here and just plug weld it back on. We'll just see whatever works out easier, because I don't want to remove this and whatever if I can get away with it. So we'll try and cut that out, and we'll get into that. And hopefully we can move into that firewall after that. Okay, I'm not sure why my phone stopped there. I was cutting the patch out and that's where it stopped. Really strange, because I didn't touch my phone. But I did get, I just see I had a missed phone call about that time, so maybe that cut it off. It doesn't normally cut it off unless I answer it, which is a pain. So I've got that patch in now. It needs a light bit of final a wee bit tied up. It's a bit awkward to try and grind in there. I haven't got any new flappy wheels, so it makes it a little bit more awkward. I need some more. Obviously, if I had that bigger disc on there, trying to come in fairly flat, I'd get that edge fairly well cleaned up. I've got to get some more Monday. I was actually thought the guy that owns this, because he's been quite good, he's been buying me a few materials just to help offset the cost a little bit. Did you do, or have a new one over there still? Yeah, he's been buying me a few materials, so it just saves me. I know it's a worn down one too, but just to help offset some of the cost a little bit, if you know what I mean. He's been paying for some of the materials instead of me charging him, which is quite good, because he actually works, the company he works for, which supplies core gas, they obviously have, they're a part of the company, and they have lots of this sort of shit. So he can get them really cheap. He said, "Oh, just freaking let me know," and I said, "I'll get you some." And I thought he was going to drop some off, but I'll have to get some Monday. So I'm down through all my. I'm cutting back with the edges on all these all the time to try and get myself another bit more. Oh, that's probably my best one now. But yeah, anyway. So we got that one done. Unfortunately, yeah, it cut the footage off. Yeah, freaking about 2.5 minutes into me cutting that piece out. I think I just cut it out and I was just starting to push it up and with a hammer and it cut off, which is a pain. I don't know why. Got me beat. There's another one there too. Well, you can see how many of these or used ones of these are like flying around everywhere, but they're all worn off on that edge. I tend to grab, depending on what I'm doing, a new one, because sometimes it's just easier to get into a corner. And I just keep chopping these back for when I getting low. But yeah, so we'll get into this now. We'll move everything around here and we'll dive into here. We'll cut this back a little bit and just see what's going on in here. And just make sure there's no other real rot anywhere. I think it's just this one spot. It's sort of got the, I don't know if you can see in here. We'll grab a light, hold on. I'll grab a light and poke down there just to be a bit easier to see. See down in there and all. There's one spot. Oh, there's a couple of spots just in here. We haven't got the light in the right place. No, I haven't. There. It's not that deep in, but if I just peel this back or bend it back, and then we'll have a wee look in there, and just we'll sort those holes out first, and then we will weld this edge. Just make sure there's nothing major sinister in there. Know that we don't have to put a decent piece of metal in before we weld this edge up, and we'll start on that. I might as well get this sorted, and then the only other piece really is that wee bit of floor in here. There's a hole in here. You can see it's had a patch put in here before, but I think I'll have a good look, we'll have a good clean up. It's probably just a matter of really just welding it up. It's kind of not really worth freaking chopping a big piece out. As much as it would be nice to make it look a little bit more factory. It's been in there a long time now. I'll just make sure there's nothing weird going on, hasn't been overlapped or just stuck on top sort of type thing. I'll check that first, but because that's a big no-no here in New Zealand. Like I see a lot of guys over in the state US do that, and they put number plates, man, you'd get shot over here. If you got caught or seen or something like that here, they would just they'd order the car off the road. I know what sounds a little bit ridiculous. Some of the rules here are a bit on the harsh side. We're probably one of the stricter countries in the world for that sort of thing. We are allowed away with a little bit of stuff here, but like I know in Australia you can't have anything out the bonnet, whereas here we can get away with it. There's some things they're good on and some things they're not, but they are pretty heavy on the poor repairs. If anything's poorly repaired or poorly made, yeah, they'll get a bit freaking nasty on there. They'll create some big problems. I've heard of guys even making custom chassis, and because they haven't had guys go through it and check it with them as they've been building it, I heard of a guy a while ago, I've mentioned this like way back in other videos. This guy was building a I think it was a lead sled or something like that, and he'd built a chassis and had it all painted and cleaned up and all ready to go, and this guy come around to inspect it, and they actually made him take the fucking paint off it so they could see what was going on. You know what I mean? So like these shitty things like that, if you frickin' just get a bit ahead of yourself, if you're doing that sort of work, yeah, they'll do the nasty on you. So like if you're doing any like major frame repairs or cutting hunks out or chopping stuff or altering stuff, yeah, they fucking want to look at the inside and the outside. They'll poke cameras down in there and all sorts of bullshit. Like they're fucking bit over the top, if you know what I mean. Like I can understand why, because there's been a lot of shit really bodged up, probably, you know, that 40 years ago, sort of like, I started getting a bit tougher in the late 80s, 90s. That's sort of when the shit sort of stopped, because there was a lot of imported stuff from Japan coming, and there was a lot of really poorly built stuff from the US coming about that same sort of time, and they started throwing the cars. They wouldn't even let them bring the cars onto the road because they were really badly repaired, or they were filled full of fiberglass and all sorts of funny shit. here, and then they got really tough on everything. They just, like all the imports that come in from Japan now, like all the late model stuff that are, I think, what about, there's a limit on the age they can bring in, but they actually make them fully strip all the interiors out, and they make sure there's been no major repairs hidden, like big smashes and crashes and shit, like, and it's been chopped up and put back on the road. Like, they won't even allow that. So you got to be careful. Once it's on the road and it's registered, as long as it hasn't any major modifications, they're pretty good. But yeah, if it's had any major work done, but especially structural wise, yeah, they'll get pretty nasty if it hasn't been already, you know what I mean, sorted beforehand. Yeah, we're gonna have to get in there and clean some shit up. I think we'll just cut a bit of this pinch weld back somehow, and just get in here and repair and behind, and then we'll put a piece metal in, and then we'll grind it all back and clean it all up. So we'll start doing that. Righty, so I started trying to see where this, the worst thing is trying to get the frickin' oxide primer out of there, which doesn't help welding. I've used the wire wheel and I've used my Scotch Brite. Try and get in there. I almost need to fucking blast that seam, which is a pain in the fucking ass, because it won't weld nice. I can't get it to flow because it keeps spitting back. I thought maybe the Scotch Brite might have got in there a bit better, to try and clean it away, but it still won't get into the sort of grooves in between. I almost need to fucking go along there with a little blaster, which is not ideal. I'm going to come back to that, and I'm just trying to work out what I'm going to do to repair that properly, because there's a couple of freaking holes down in here, and this bit of skin is a bit dozy, as well as this piece. So yeah, this piece here is actually the piece that comes up underneath. That's the bottom of the plenum, and then this piece is obviously the top. So I just need to work out what I'm going to do there, to repair the under successfully so it doesn't leak. I'm just still working on what I'm going to do there in my head, and that's why I thought I'd have a go at welding this up. So I might grab that, as much as I don't freaking want to blast too much in here again. I might have to. just to get this to weld clean. I just can't get it. I can't get it to flow nicely. To weld between, cross these three, just doing little circles. That's kind of what I wanted to do, and then just grind it off flat. But yeah, it just all it wants to do is spit at me, which is a pain. Alright, I just sandblasted this, so hopefully now it'll weld. It's still not perfectly clean, but it's definitely a lot cleaner than it was before doing those joins. So hopefully, with a blowdown and whatever, it might weld okay. Fucking mess. I didn't really want to do that in here, but anyway. So yeah, at least I'll try to have another fucking go at welding it. I might come back down here later on, after I've looked at this car and fucking try and get this shit finished. At least then I'm basically done, apart from a couple of those little patches in the floor. Yeah, I think I will. I'll just come down here after. It might be 3 o'clock or something by the time I get back here, probably, or maybe a bit later. See if I can get this fixed and finished. At least then the car's basically done, apart from just the odd little sprinkle of tidy up and a few pinholes and whatever. At least the majority of it, well, everything should be done now, I think. So firewall, there's that little spot down there with the blue one. I'll put a couple of tack welds in that so it closes that hole up. We'll work out a couple of holes in the floor. That needs ground up. A few plug welds in there. A couple wee bits, a couple wee things there. Wee bit of spot welding down there just to fill some pinholes. I'm going to finish the clean up. Oh, and it needs seam seal and texture coat on the back side of that wheel arch. I can't remember. I might have already seam sealed it. I can't remember. But yeah, it's kind of where we're at, I think. Everything else should be done. Which is absolutely freaking awesome. But yeah, I thought I would have been done with this sort of Thursday, and I could have had full Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to try and get these doors done. But yeah, it didn't work like that. It was a pain. I don't know. 3 days-ish, and I should better sort these doors, I would think, but yeah. We'll see. I'll get that finished tonight anyway, the firewall. So I'll get that patch sorted and get that seam welded and ground off. Yeah. Alrighty, we'll probably see you when I do a quick walk around this other car. I'll do a quick, 20-second, 30-second walk around or whatever. And I'll punch that in the video as well. Alright, and we'll catch you later on. Right, morning guys. So, I'll try and keep this short. So, Monday morning, I didn't get a chance to look at that car yesterday. Just unfortunate circumstances. The guy, or the place where the car was at, he ended up being too busy. I waited around until about 3 o'clock to hear from the owner, or for him to turn up, and it just didn't happen. So yeah, I did think about coming back down here, but we went around to see Mum and Dad for a while, and then didn't get home till it was about 5:30, so we hadn't even cooked tea or anything, so it was pretty late. Well, it wasn't late, but you know what I mean, like it was probably 7 o'clock or something before we had tea, and so I didn't really bother coming back down here to do any more. But I went to the engineers because they're only just down the road from home, so I grabbed a heap of flappy wheels, so I got some fresh flappy wheels so I can try and clean up some of these welds better, and getting some of the more awkward bits where you can get in with a nice square disc for a start off. And I grabbed a couple of these thick cuts. I don't normally use them much, these thicker ones. So that's your regular 1mm thin cut. Trying to get in, and that's the 2mm or 2.5mm. I used one of those the other day when I was making that jig up. It was good for slipping the panel steel through the bit of steel. because I used that and I couldn't get it to fit in there. So with a slightly thicker cut, I could. So I grabbed scrap 4. I'm not going to use them very often, but I've got them there if I want them. It's one of those sort of things. These were around for a long time, and then all of a sudden these go on the market. And I think there is one that's a little bit thinner than these two, which are real ultra. I think they'll call them ultra fine cut, or whatever they call them. So this is 1 mil thick, which is the same thickness as 20 gauge or 19 gauge panel steel, and this is obviously heavy. But yeah, so I grabbed a couple of them. What else was I going to talk about? So yeah, I was hoping to get that 57 Wrangler in here this week, but it's probably not going to happen until hopefully next week. So I'm trying to work out what I'm doing for the next couple of weeks. I'm going to carry on with this anyway, at least for today, until we work out what the owner wants to do. I was really hoping to get to the doors last week, but as you know, I didn't get there. So I've got a bit to do on this firewall, so we'll smash that out this morning, hopefully, and then we'll get into one of these doors at least, get them started. And yeah, I just want to see whether he's the owner. So one of those things, the owner, this has been sort of just giving me a little bit each week, which is a bit of a pain, but it's kind of just how he wanted to run it. I'm hoping with the 57 I can get a half decent chunk of change to get the first, say, 3 or 4 weeks into it without having to worry about financials, and I can get all the bits and pieces I need. And I'm actually hoping with the profit out of that, or part of the profit out of that, and probably chip into my workings a little bit. I would like, if I can, and maybe if I can get something else in here, pick up that 51 Plymouth. I'd really like to get something going for myself. I've got the 37 Nash, like it needs the motor going and needs the upholstery done, but I'd like something else apart from that. I'd like to get another Mopar or something like that, because I've always had them. I just, it's only really since 2020 when we came back here, I sold the one I had in Australia, that it was probably only really, maybe 5 or 6 months from getting running and driving. I didn't really have to do the interior. It needed tarted up. The motor needed gone through, but it was really rebuildable. It just really needed rings and bearings and whatever. I think they had to do the heads a little bit. But yeah, and I was basically finished with the body work on that. It just needed the last of the mud work, I guess, done and blocked off and whatever, and painted. All the hard stuff was done. Well, the metal work was all done. But yeah, so I'd like to get something Mopar again, hence in case NZ Mopar Outlaw Kustoms. So yeah, I'd quite like to get that 51 and build something out of it. And I'd like to, as much as 2 doors can be a pain, I would like to use it as an advertisement. If I can't get it on the road, or if it's awkward to get it on the road, I just want to build it anyway as maybe a show car and trailer it there, as much as I don't want to do that. But yeah, I kind of want to use it as an advertisement. So if I can take it to a car show, like I can put my name on it and whatever, and take it there, and then try and obviously generate more business from it as part of it. But yeah, it's because it's really freaking funny here because it's got dead registration. It's more difficult to get on the road. It's got to go through engineering and all sorts of bits and pieces, and it's got to be, if I chop it and 2-door it, even though I think they're full chassis, those 51s, I'm pretty sure they are. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I think they are. I've been trying to watch lots of videos on them. I'd like to 2-door and chop it, maybe hard top it. I'm not sure on that. I'm just trying to work out how I do that. So obviously lengthen the doors, delete the back, and just have like a full window opening, and then try and work out some way of putting, you know, rubbers and glass and lots of stuff in. And I actually wouldn't mind making my own back window opening, maybe. We'll see. So yeah, I basically want to build a lead sled sort of type sort of thing. On the cheap and do it all myself, do the upholstery myself and all that sort of stuff. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. And if I can get it on the road, I will. But I need to find out what the logistics of that are for building and to get each step done. It's a bit of a funny area. It's something I haven't dabbled in for a long time here. So I need to talk to some of these guys that are doing like full-on custom builds and not dealing with bits and pieces like this that are still registered, just getting a bit of rust work done. There's a bit of it's a different area, if you know what I mean, when you're doing customization and chopping stuff up. So I need to find out what the logistics of that are. If it's going to be a real fucking nightmare, I'll just build it and and just have it as a bit of a show car, and maybe try and sneak it onto the street occasionally, if you know what I mean. Just illegally, but yeah, but mainly just trailer it, you know, sort of take it somewhere and then drive it like on short distance on the street into a car show or something like that. Unless I can find a set of plates, a live set of plates for for something that's already been done that might have been pranged, or whatever, and throw them on it. It's not really the right way to do it, but you can do it. People do it. But yeah, so it's kind of what I'm trying to build to. It's because I'd like to go to one of the car shows here, like one of the big ones up north. Like there's either the Muscle Car Madness in Rangiora, which is like halfway up the South Island. That's a big one. That's probably the biggest one in the South Island. It's in excess of 1,500 cars, and I think it's a 2 or 3 day event. And then there's the beach hop on the North Island, which is a pretty big too. It's massive, and I think it's sort of the same sort of thing. It's like a 3 or 4 day event sort of type thing. So I'd like to take something to that in the next year or two. So yeah, it's kind of planned, but yeah, we obviously need to have something to take up there myself. I don't want to take a modern car. I would like to try something out. So yeah. Anyway, we'll get into this. Right, so we're going to do a wee bit of work there to finish that up. You have to check for pinholes and whatever. There's one or two there at that light shining back through. Clean up and whatever, and then I will finish welding the seam and obviously weld that better around through here. Get that all cleaned up and ground up and whatever. If I can get up and behind here, it's really close to the bottom of this, so it's a bit awkward to hammer and dolly. But I'm not going to just hammer this out a little bit so it comes out a little bit, just so it flattens off. And then we can grind a bit more of that weld away. We can probably grind a bit more of it away anyway without too many issues. Tidy up these spot welds, I'll just, bring them in a bit cleaner. And obviously when we weld along there anyway, a lot of this is gonna disappear. And we'll just grind it smooth and then it'll be filled, I guess with body filler or whatever, eventually all the way along there. So anyway, I think I might call this here for the video. And then after lunch, I'll finish sorting this out and then get onto the doors. Hopefully it won't take me too long to finish that. It's like one of these little jobs, you just think, oh, there's not too much to it, but when you dig in, it seems to take you 3 or 4 times longer than what you ever thought it would. Especially with having to replace 3 pieces of steel in there, mainly because the bits and pieces are in behind were rotten, and you sort of cut the front pieces away to get in there. The front skin wasn't that bad, but it was the skins in behind were just a bit scabby, and then there was a couple of little minor holes in there. I don't think I helped either trying to break the skins free. I think I probably poked screwdriver through where it was a bit thin too. So yeah, it didn't help, but we've got that all sealed up now. I'll poke a light in there and I'll look in from underneath at some point, and we'll just double check that, and we'll probably smear a seam sealer in there where obviously we've done that join and whatever, and yeah, I don't think it'll be ever an issue as long as we get a decent seal in there. I can seal it from the underside as well. Just make sure it's not going to frickin' leak and cause any issues. But it should be good. Yeah, and then we'll carry on and we'll do these doors and go from there. And then hopefully we'll have that 57 Rambler in here. So yeah. So anyway, thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe. Leave a comment, ask a question, whatever. Give us a thumbs up. If you feel like it, jump over to the Teespring, buy some merch if you want, help support me or whatever. Or if you want to send me some bits and pieces, tools, whatever. There's also Amazon link there. I'm not, I don't expect it, but any little bits and pieces that I can get, like Solar Garage has been really awesome. Bill from Solar Garage has been really awesome. He's helped me out with just lots of little things that that freaking air punch thing, Swager, it's awesome. It's that one little gripe with it, but I think they might be all a little bit like that. I'll do some research at some point and see if there is a deeper one, because if there is a deeper one, I'll get one. I'll use both. I know I will. That thing's so freaking handy. Better than drilling holes through the plug well. You can just bang, 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 and away you go. Takes half a minute to bang a freaking series of holes through, where it could take you 10 minutes to drill a whole heap of holes, if you know what I mean. Just an awesome tool. Love it. Yeah, just if I can get one that's, that you can get it in about 3/4 of an inch. It's just for those weird spots, would be just really handy, because there's a lot of things that just aren't that close to the edge. But yeah, like 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch. Yeah, just have that option of just going in deep would be really handy. But anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers. Thanks.
Hey guys, if you need welding gas, go see the boys at Cool Gas. If you're in New Zealand, yep, go see these guys. They'll look after you. Cool Gas, New Zealand.